Welcome, and thanks for tuning in to the archives of the Hiawatha 2021 Traditional Music Virtual Festival. I'm Tom Dummer, here by the banks of the lovely Laughing Whitefish River, and we've got a great lineup ready and waiting for your viewing pleasure. We hope you enjoy these concerts, and remember to support Hiawatha through your annual membership. Or you could buy one of these lovely 2021 official festival t-shirts, or make a donation. All can be done at our website, www.hiawathamusic.org. And be sure to check out the folks that posted their virtual Hiawatha Festival pics to hashtag MyHiawatha.
Hi, I'm Candace. I'm on the board of Hiawatha. This is Cora. Can you say hi?
Hi.
This is Adelaide. Hi. And this is my husband, Jeff. We just wanted to say thank you so much for your guys' support over the past couple years, whether it was financial or whether just sending us positive vibes. We really support you guys for supporting us, and we really want to keep this tradition going on. So thank you very much. We hope you guys enjoy this virtual Hiawatha Festival, and hopefully we'll see you next year in 2022 camping. Happy Hiawatha!
Our next performer is Dom Flemons. He's been at Hiawatha before. He was here in 2007 with the Carolina Chocolate Drops. In researching his bio, I read that the Carolina Chocolate Drops name was inspired by the Tennessee Chocolate Drops, a black string band from the 30s that featured Howard Louie Bluey Armstrong. Howard played Hiawatha on 2 occasions, in 1983 and 1991. If I'm not mistaken, it was the 1983 performance where we also booked him at the Marquette maximum security prison. I heard him speak of that several times, so it must have been a memorable occasion. But I digress. Let's get back to Dom. He's a songwriter, music scholar, producer, actor, historian, record collector, and multi-instrumentalist. He plays the banjo, the fife, the guitar, the harmonica, the jug, percussion, quills, and rhythm bones. And I have to be honest, I don't know how you play the quills, but he does. He's been recorded on 21 albums, including 3 solo albums, 2 duets, and 4 with the Chocolate Drops. He's got a bucket load of awards, and here's a few of them. He's received 1 Grammy, 2 EMMY nominations, and a Grammy nomination for his album Black Cowboys. His most recent album is Prospect Hill, the American Songster Omnibus, which is a 2-CD compilation of his 2015 album Prospect Hill, and his 2015 EP What Got Over, and the Drum Major Instinct, 12 previous issued instrumental tracks. He is a governor on the board of directors for the Washington, D.C. chapter of the Recording Academy. He's a recipient of the 2020 United States Artist Fellowship Award for the Traditional Arts. He was in the Golden Globe nominated film The Great Debaters as a juke joint musician. Sit back and prepare to be entertained by Dom Flemons.
Alright folks, this is Dom Flemons, the American Songster. It's a pleasure to be with you, well at least virtually, here at the Hiawatha Music Festival. It's been a long time since I've been up in the UP, and it's wonderful to be able to be here to play some music for you now. And I'm going to start off, I guess, with a little bit of banjo. I just did some harmonica, played a little fiddle tune called There's a Brown-Skinned Girl Down the Road Somewhere, that I put together in the style of the harmonica songster D. Ford Bailey. And D. Ford was one of the original founding members of the Grand Ole Opry, and this banjo tune here I'm going to play for you is another one from one of the founding members of the Grand Ole Opry, a fellow by the name of Bill Monroe, and this is a piece called Long Journey Home. And you can sing along at home if you like on this one. The chorus is, I lost all my money but a $2 bill. Black smoke arising, it surely is a train, surely is a train, Lord, it surely is a train. Black smoke arising, it surely is a train. I'm on my long journey home, 'cause I lost all my money but a $2 bill, $2 bill, Lord, a $2 bill. Lost all my money but a $2 bill. I'm on my long journey home. I'm feeling kinda blue, Lord, I'm feeling kinda blue. I'm homesick and lonesome, I'm feeling kinda blue. I'm on my long journey home, 'cause I lost all my money but a $2 bill, $2 bill, Lord, a $2 bill. Lost all my money but a $2 bill. I'm on my long journey home. Homesick and lonesome, I'm feeling kinda blue, Lord, I'm feeling kinda blue. I'm homesick and lonesome, I'm feeling kinda blue. I'm on my long journey home, 'cause I lost all my money but a $2 bill, $2 bill, Lord, a $2 bill. Lost all my money but a $2 bill. I'm on my long journey home. I lost all my money but a $2 bill, $2 bill, Lord, a $2 bill. Lost all my money but a $2 bill. I'm on my long journey home. Well folks, this next one I'm going to play for you is a crowd favorite, a song I wrote called Hot Chicken. And I recently had a wonderful update in the story. Now this is about a dish that you can find in East Nashville, Tennessee. That's a fried chicken dish made with cayenne powder, and it's a daredevil sport to eat this dish. And recently, when I was on the Grand Ole Opry, I played the song, and I had the great fortune of one of the square dancers giving me a piece of fan mail from a woman by the name of Adrienne Prince. And she mentioned that she'd been listening to the Opry for 80 plus years, and that her uncle, a fellow by the name of Thornton Prince, started Prince's Hot Chicken, which was the very hot chicken shack I went to that inspired the song. And she said, in her words, she said, thank that young man who sang the song about my uncle's restaurant, Hot Chicken, Prince's Hot Chicken. And so I'm going to play you the song right now and give you a little taste of it and see if I can get some of that gusto that I gave him at the Opry that night. So here's Hot Chicken for you. Rooster run the mother hen, said cock-a-doodle-doo. Mother hen said, darn old fool, my fricassee ain't for you. You ought to get hot chicken. You ought to get hot chicken. Cause if you want hot chicken, East Nashville, Tennessee. Jackrabbit run the Gila Monster, running my solid mile. Gila Monster turned around and said, you know, hey bub, this running ain't my kind of style. You ought to get hot chicken. You ought to get hot chicken. Cause if you want hot chicken, East Nashville, Tennessee. Young man knocked on the window glass, old man gave him the eye. He said, boy, you done had your fun with my wife, but quit knocking on my blinds. I'm going to get you hot chicken. Don't mistake it for hot chicken. But where you gotta go? East Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah! Six. Old man laid his fiddle down, wine glass in his hand. He said, times has gotten so damn hard that I can't no longer dance. I gotta get me hot chicken. Doctor suggested, where am I gonna go? East Nashville, Tennessee. Little frog hopped by my feet, big tear in his eye. Said, I can't believe my own true love told me to hop on by. Said, get hot chicken. I think she suspected it. Where am I hopping to? East Nashville, Tennessee. Whoa, baby, am I gonna get hot chicken, hot chicken, hot chicken, hot chicken, hot chicken, hot chicken. Whoa, now hot chicken, yeah, hot chicken now. Baby, listen to WDOM coming at you from East Nashville, Tennessee. We ain't got no neck bones, ain't got no chillins in the pot. All we got here, baby, the chicken's awfully hot. Way down East Nashville, Tennessee, come and see us sometime. And we'll sing, and we'll sing, and we'll sing, and we'll sing. I'm gonna get hot chicken, hot chicken, hot chicken, hot chicken, hot chicken, hot chicken. Oh yeah, hot chicken, yeah, hot chicken. Skeet-a-lo, dee-a-lo, beat-a-la-bomb. Well, folks, this next number I'm going to do for you is one that I learned many years ago from one of the great Piedmont blues musicians who's passed away in the past actually several months here in 2021. We lost John D. Holman from Durham, North Carolina, and I met John D. back in 2006. And when I first came out from Arizona to North Carolina, I got to meet Timothy Duffy over at the Music Maker Relief Foundation. And the first time I went to go visit Tim, I started talking to him about how one of my first albums from Music Maker was Bull Durham Blues by John D. Holman. And Tim just, he heard that and he went over and he picked up the phone, he dialed the phone number and he said, hey John D., I got a young man who wants to come and see you. Could you come down to see him? And so he hung up the phone, and 20 minutes later, rolling up on a dirt road, John D. Holman came in. And he was very much a suave southern country gentleman, you know. Dry cleaned his overalls, that type of thing, you know, and he was a really, it was just a wonderful presence. And he shook my hand, and he must have shook my hand held it for about 10 minutes. He was just so excited to see that somebody had driven so far to learn a little bit about the blues and Piedmont music. And this is a song I learned from him. This is one that he wrote reminiscing about his early days in Chapel Hill. This is one called the Chapel Hill Boogie. Chapel Hill's on the bowl. Go to Chapel Hill, get a drink of alcohol, and do the boogie. Do the Chapel Hill boogie. Do the Chapel Hill boogie, now boogie woogie all night long. I stand on the corner, drink in my hand. Chick comes by, says that's my man. To do the boogie. Do the Chapel Hill boogie. Do the Chapel Hill boogie, now boogie woogie all night long. People all standing around, waiting on until the sun went down, doing the boogie. Do the Chapel Hill boogie. Do the Chapel Hill boogie, now boogie woogie all night long. Ain't gonna sing no more. My good gal called me and I got to go, doing the boogie. Doing the Chapel Hill boogie. Do the Chapel Hill boogie and boogie woogie all night long. Chapel Hill's on the bowl. Go to Chapel Hill, get a drink of alcohol, and do the boogie. Do the Chapel Hill boogie. Do the Chapel Hill boogie, now boogie woogie all night long. Well, folks, this next one here I'm going to do for you is one that's on my Black Cowboys album. This is a song called Black Woman. And it's also known as the Wild Ox Moan. And this is a song that was collected in the field from a woman by the name of Vera Ward Hall. This was collected by John A. Lomax and Alan Lomax and another folklorist. Harold Corlander even collected this one as well from her. And this is one that I thought just really, it really emphasized and it really showcased one of the ways that African American women influenced the West. This is a story of longing for wanting to go back home to that home place. So here's a little bit of Black Woman. Well, come here, black woman, and sit on daddy's knee. Well, I've got something to tell you, pretty mama. Don't you holler, Lordy. Oh, well, I'm going back to Texas to hear that wild ox moan. And if his moaning don't suit me, black woman, I'm gonna drive my bell cow home. Don't your kitchen feel lonesome? When your biscuit roll is gone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this this next one here is another one I wrote here for the Black Cowboys album. This is a piece called Steel Pony Blues, and I wrote this one after I read the autobiography of Nat Love, who was one of the famous black cowboys of the West. And the idea of Nat Love being born into slavery and then after being emancipated, becoming a cowboy, that was intriguing. But as I continued to read the book, I started to find that I found another intriguing notion that once Nat Love had been a cowboy for several decades, he decided to retire from cowboy work and he became a Pullman porter working on the railroad lines. And I found that that was a very interesting story to connect the old West of African American culture as well as modern African American culture as we have it now. Of course, the Pullman porters and the Brotherhood of Sleeping Cars, they were part of the Civil Rights Movement. They were sort of an essential catalyst for that movement to begin in the late 1930s and going forward into the 60s. But just being able to connect that story of the Pullman porters to the story of the black cowboys, it showed a lot about where African American men fit within the concept of racial uplift and also being representatives of an African American community that may have been either non-existent or reduced down to one in some scenarios. And so with that being said, I wrote this little song. I call it My Steel Pony and Boys, I'm Gonna Ride, just to sort of bring that idea of movement into the forefront, because that's something that my family's done for a long time. For many generations, they've moved from the farm and they've made it all the way to this moment right here where I'm playing for you. So here's a little bit of Steel Pony Blues. When you get down to Holbrook, you won't find me there. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. 'Cause I caught my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Getting far too old to follow this here herd. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. 'Cause I caught my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Now they call me Mr. Flemons, 'cause I'm a pull porter now. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. 'Cause I caught my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Go ahead and get it one time, 6. Mr. Flemons, 'cause I done tore that guitar down. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Now when you get over there, you won't find me, 'cause I caught my steel pony and boys, I'm going to ride. Get on down that trail. Yep. Now this next one is a song called He's a Lone Ranger. This is another one that I wrote for the Black Cowboys album, and I wrote this about a fellow by the name of Bass Reeves, who was the first Deputy U.S. Marshal of the United States, who was African American. And this was a time, you know, in 2021, people are commemorating the Tulsa massacre that happened on Black Wall Street. Now this is a period that is, I would say, 2 to 3 decades before Black Wall Street, because Bass Reeves, he came from the area of Arkansas that is connected to Oklahoma, and he started to make his way out from the plantation in Arkansas out to Oklahoma during his formative years. So he was born on the plantation, and there was a fight he had with his master, actually the plantation master. The master had taught Bass Reeves how to play cards, and at one time when they were playing poker together, the master had lost all of his money, and as a last-ditch effort, the master decided to put Bass's freedom up for collateral. And so Bass found out he was cheating in that particular hand, and he punched him out. And then he made a run for it, because he realized that wasn't going to be a good place to stay, so he made his way out to the Cherokee Nation and became a master tracker, which is what led him to become a deputy marshal. And just sort of some of the things I ended up putting into this song are just some of the little facts about his life, and a couple of the legends around his story as well. There was a family friend that said that before he was about to get into a gunfight, he'd sing a little spiritual to himself, and that's when you knew Bass was going to start with a little bit of fair gunfire. That's a little bit of gunplay happening sooner than later. So here's a little bit of He's a Lone Ranger here, because that's also one of the things about Bass Reeves. They say that he might be the historical precedent or the basis for the fictional character, the Lone Ranger. So without further ado, here's a little bit of He's a Lone Ranger. U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger, Bass Reeves' his name. There was a man way out west, rode around this country with a star on his breast. Every white man and a Indian tribe, and he was the baddest man that ever was alive. He's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger, Bass Reeves' his name. Broad-shouldered and 6 feet tall, rode a sword like an outer on a mall. Master of a pistol, master of disguise. He looked every man he caught now dead in the eyes, 'cause he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger, Bass Reeves' his name. Born a slave down in Arkansas, lived with his master and his dear old ma. Mama said, son, you ain't free, but you can do anything you want, though if the mister don't see. Now he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's He's a Lone Ranger, Bass Reeves his name. Master called Bass Reeves to a gambling game. Bass's freedom was a stake that he made. Now Master cheated, you ought to heard the sound of Bass's hoof beats as Master hit the ground. Now he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger, Bass Reeves his name. You hear Bass Reeves break into song, get down to business and it won't be long. Withering Muskoka, 100 miles around, they call him Bass Reeves, he's bound to track you down, 'cause he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger, Bass Reeves his name. Go on, Bass. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a special little banjo I've got here with me. This is the little gourd banjo, and on the back of it I got a little portrait of a family tree. This was made by a fellow named Bob Thornburg, who I got to know through Mike Seeger. And these little birds on the back here are Sankofa birds. And Sankofa is a Ashanti proverb from West Africa, which means go back and fetch it. Grab the things from the past and bring them into the present, and that'll lead you into the future. And it's depicted by one of these birds flying forward and touching its beak to its back wing. And I always think about the banjo in that sort of way, where it's sort of a question mark of an instrument until it's really played by a person with statements to say. And so I'll start off with this first one here. This is one that I learned from a fellow by the name of Joe Thompson many years ago. He was an old-time fiddler from Mebane, North Carolina. And this is a piece called Old Corn Liquor. He also called this one Great Big 8. Great Big 8, Great Big 8, Great Big 8, all the way left. Well, while I'm here at the gourd banjo, I just want to show off one of the old-time numbers here, just to kind of show you a little bit of the beauty of the gourd banjo. It just has a nice low tone, and if you're used to hearing the sound of the banjo having a high-pitched sound, just to have this little meaty low tone is really fun. So I'm going to hit a little bit of John Henry, Steel Driving Man. This is another one that I learned from Joe Thompson. There are a lot of versions of John Henry, but this is how Joe Thompson taught me years ago. Steel driving man, don't you see, Lordy? Steel driving man, don't you see? Died with a hammer in his hand. Died with a hammer in his hand. Alright folks, I got my good friend Big Head Joe with me here, and I'm going to play one of the old favorites. One from Papa Charlie Jackson, but this is a little song that's helped me get a few biscuits in my time out on the road. This is one called Your Baby Ain't Sweet Like Mine. Everybody talking about the sweetie nowadays. I got the one with the sweetest ways. Your baby may roll a jelly fine. Nobody's baby can't roll it like mine. Your baby ain't sweet like mine. Bake a jelly roll all the time. And when I'm feeling lonesome and blue, my baby knows just what to do. Yes sir, she even called me honey. She even let me spend the money. Never has a baby put me out though. She even buys me all my clothes. I don't want to brag, just want to put you in line. Your baby ain't sweet like mine, oh no. Your baby ain't sweet like mine. baby ain't sweet like mine. She bake a jelly roll all the time, and when I'm feeling lonesome and blue, my baby knows just what to do. Yes, sir, she even called me honey. She even let me spend the money. Never has a baby put me outdoors. She even buys me all my clothes. I don't wanna brag, just wanna put you in line. Your baby ain't sweet like mine, oh no. Your baby ain't sweet like mine, oh yes. Your baby ain't sweet like mine. Ladies and gentlemen, this next one here is an old one from Henry Ragtime Texas Thomas, and I'm going to replicate a little bit of his style, playing the quills here up on the top. And joining me as always, Big Head Joe. So here's a little bit of Charmin' Betsy. And Henry Thomas, he was known as one of the elder songsters to make records in the early 1920s. He was born in the early 1880s. They have their speculations that he was born in the early 1880s, and by the late 1920s, he was I guess probably in his later 50s, early 60s by the time he recorded these numbers, making it some of the oldest music we have on commercial record. And I'm going to show you a little bit of why I had to learn this style. It just was such a beautiful combination of sounds. So here's a little bit of Charmin' Betsy with the quills. Betsy, going round the mountain to a lead. If I never see you no more, do Lord remember me. The first time I seen Charmin' Betsy, want everything that she see. Last time I seen Charmin' Betsy, she waving that ball and chain. Yes, I'm going round the mountain, Charmin' Betsy, going round the mountain to lead. If I never see you no more, do Lord remember me. I'm going round the mountain, Charmin' Betsy, going round the mountain to a lead. If I never see you no more, do Lord remember me. Now Charmin' Betsy's going on down the line, wine glass in her hand, going after old man. These are the very words she said. She gonna say, oh my babe, take me back. I'm not well, Lord, take me back. Sunday morning won't seem wrong. You're gonna call me, I'll be gone. She turned around 2 and 3 times, said, my babe, take me back, take me back, take me back. Oh, my babe, take me back. Make me one pat on your floor. Make me one pat on your floor. Oh, make a pallet soft and low. Won't you make it so your man will never know? 'Cause I'm looking for that bully of the town. Looking for that bully of the town. I'm looking for that bully can't be found. I'm looking for that bully, lay me down. next one, ladies and gentlemen, is a little banjo breakdown here called Po Black Sheep that I learned from an album called Altamont, which features some of the earliest recordings of black string bands in the Library of Congress. And this is from a duo, Nathan Frazier and Frank Patterson here. And this tune just moved me so much that I had to learn it. And I brought a couple of little extra embellishments in there as I started to pick up the tune. It's been about, I don't know, 10, 12 years. But let's see if I can pull out all the stops on this one for you. Po Black Sheep. Folks, this is my last number here. Once again, my name is Dom Flemons. I'm known as the American Songster, and it's been a pleasure to be with you virtually at the Hiawatha Music Festival. And next year we'll get together at the UP, and it's going to be a big time. But until then, I'm going to leave you with a little medley of Carolina songs just to remember me by. I'm going to play a little medley of some of the great pickers of North Carolina. I'll start out with a little bit of Elizabeth Cotton from Carborough. Then I'll do a little bit of Etta Baker from Morganton, and then I'll do a little bit of Leslie Riddle from Burnsville. And the songs are going to be Freight Train, Railroad Bill, and Cannonball Blues.